Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jamie. This will be a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. We're going to go over the month of March, see what's coming. If there's anything to look out for, be aware of. Now, if you are brand new to tarot, just understand that not every spread here is going to resonate with you, although I'm sure at least one will. And we can just disregard gender. Just because I pull a king, queen, emperor, or an empress doesn't mean that it's male or female. Not in these readings anyway. These are general and collective. So yeah, just disregard the gender. Those cards actually describe a personality. So you'll know who we're talking about. If you'd like to become a member, you can hit the join button below to check out all of the perks. So right now I'm just pulling the overall energies for the month, just like as a general look, and then we'll clarify into some different aspects. Whoa, that was messy. Okay, so we have Hooked, Spring of Beauty. My world is a spring of beauty. I nourish my spirit with music, art, and creativity that inspires me. I live a life of inspiration. We have Scapegoating, directing one's anger, frustrations, and aggression onto others, blames others for problems and misfortunes. Let go. Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. And the overall energy is the Three of Cups. Excuse me. Let's see. Tell me more about this. Tell me about scapegoating for March. So we have the Emperor, Aries energy, the Sun, Leo energy, and the Six of Wands. Some of you want, like, you're hooked on the idea of living this abundant life. But I think that part of what you need to let go of is the idea that someone else is in control of that. You know, I think you have to take the driver's seat here. You know, and I think that a lot of people don't know that they do this. It'll be like, well, I would be making this much, but then this happened. But like when that happened, you didn't leave a job, you know? I really want to do this with my life, but then in your free time, drinking, partying. And I'm not talking about for your birthday. You know, we're talking about in general. I feel like somebody needs to take accountability, you know, for their own happiness. You know, it's not dependent upon someone else. Someone else can't take that from you. Your success is not dependent upon someone else. No one can take that from you. You have to go out there and get it. You know, you can't let someone else be in control of that. That's how you get totally screwed in life. You could feel like you're stuck in a job or in a situation, but nobody's really stuck. You know, that's just a mentality. Some of you need to wake up to the fact that you actually are in control here. If you fucking hate your boss and you hate your job and you feel like they're the reason for all of your misery and why you go home and argue with your girl or your man 2 days a week, you know, maybe it's time to let go of that job and find something different. Instead of just, I don't know, I'm getting like somebody's just always complaining and pointing their finger at someone else when really they need to redirect their life. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but I mean, we are looking at scapegoating. You know, really directing your anger and frustration and blame on someone else. But really, you have to point the finger at yourself. You keep allowing things, or you keep staying in a place where things don't change, or in relationships that just don't change. Like, you have to start taking some accountability to see any kind of change. Because it's only going to be able to actually happen with you. You're not going to be in control of somebody else's changes, you know? Some of you have a lot of potential, but you're not really working towards it. You're just kind of like in a loop here and kind of pointing your finger at like your boss or, you know, whoever you kind of see as like an authority. In the advice, we have the Hangman, Pisces energy, Death, Scorpio energy, the Five of Pentacles, and the World. I really feel like some of you just need to leave a situation or a job behind, but like, first you need to, you know, when we blame, it's because we're kind of just looking for a way to settle things, you know, like, cool, if it's the job's fault, if it's your boss's fault, and that's not going to change, then maybe you need to be the change. You know, some of you need to end something here, like you're not making any money, or you're being treated like less than. And even though you keep pointing your finger at, I really feel like this is work, but it could be anything, you know? where you're pointing the finger. I see people do this with relationships too, when they, like when a relationship ends, they just completely blame the other person for everything. That's usually how it starts off. And they do this with a lot of things. And I feel like here, this is, for a lot of you, it's about work. And maybe this boss is a piece of shit, but there are a million other bosses out there. So like, or you could become your own boss. It's like all the time that you're spending, I feel like looking at what someone else is doing, you just got to pay attention to yourself. Like, if it's hindering your success, then why are you even still there? If there's no potential for growth, why are you still there? Like, you have to really look at you here, literally, because something needs to change or end. You can't live off of crumbs, so all the complaining in the world is not going to get you paid more. And I feel like that's the big thing with scapegoating this month. Like, if you want success, you have to go out there and get it. Nobody's just going to hand it to you. And definitely you're not going to have it handed to you in a place where you're being treated really unfairly. Tell me about let go. The Four of Cups. The Nine of Cups. The Ten of Wands. Bottom of the deck, the Eight of Wands. And I got the Three of Wands here. The King of Swords. The Lovers. So for a lot of you, this is about love and temperance. The Queen of Swords. Yeah, definitely about... Wow, I'm about to take all of these. So some of you definitely dealing with a Gemini or a Sagittarius. I feel like you're disappointed because somebody that you want, like, broke things off with you and, like, kind of just, I think, moved on, and you've just been waiting around for them to communicate, to hit you up. And I feel like you do, like, feel like this is your person, the King and Queen of Swords with the Lovers. Like, you could be even watching, like, a lot of tarot readings, with, like, the twin flame shit, You keep waiting for this person to reconcile. I feel like some of you are watching a lot of tarot, and it's like the love readings. And this has you feeling like you need to wait for somebody to come back, I think that somebody's maybe a little bit delusional right now. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in like this is what happens when we break up type of thing, Why is this relevant? The Knight of Cups, the Four of Swords, bottom of the deck, the Eight of Swords. I hate to break this, but like, if you guys have been waiting for someone to come back around or communicate, and this may not resonate for everyone, but you're wasting your time. And a lot of your energy. I think that some of you are, like, literally obsessed with a person who, like, you just want to talk to this person, or you just want to, like, know that they're okay or something. I don't know. I just feel like you wish that you could talk to this person, but like they're not, it's not going to happen. With the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords, it's just not going to happen. Like, whatever you're waiting for, like, that's not happening. I'm sorry. So I feel like that's why it's saying let go, though, like, this was just, especially if it were, like, a lot of people, they watch these, like, twin flame readings, and sometimes people do come back, sometimes they don't. Sometimes when people do come back, it's when you're completely over them. I mean, usually when they come back, it's when you're completely over them. The problem here is that somebody's like watching a bunch of love readings and it's like fueling their obsession. And it's really the ones that they know aren't resonating. Like, this person's not, watching you on social media or trying to hit up your friends about you or ask around about you. Like, these are not things that are actually happening. This is like actual delusion. And I hate to break it, but I feel like you have to let go so that you can achieve more in life. Like, this is something that's really holding you back. This, like, obsession with waiting for someone to come back around and apologize. Like, it's not going to happen. At least not in March, So it's best to just kind of, like, move on with your life and focus on other things. And this could be part of who or what you're blaming, with the scapegoating. This could be part of the problem with the relationship, And I'm just keeping it real with somebody, like, either whether they're self-aware or not, like, maybe you have this problem in relationships with always blaming the other person for things. Most people do this, They just don't like to be told about it. Tell me about Hooked. Whoa. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, the Emperor, Aries energy. At the bottom of the deck, the Three of Wands. This is the same situation where you're like, some of you are waiting for somebody to come back around, and if you really look at the big picture, like the bigger picture, like, this shit was not stable. Like, it was completely one-sided. Like, I think this person was like, I think breadcrumbing you when it came to, like, time and energy. Something really wasn't solid or as committed as you delusionally believe it was. I feel like when you're not with this person, you idealize them, It's like you miss them and you are waiting for them to come back around. But the truth is, when you're with this person, it's war. Like, they get you out of character. You feel like they are literally the reason that things are fucked up in your life, that, especially financially. This person had a bunch and you didn't, and they knew that, And I think that this is, the scapegoating. Like, some of you just need to take accountability and things will change. When you say, sure, maybe, like, the reason things are fucked up is because we broke up, but this person's not to blame for your entire life. You're a fucking adult. I don't know who needs to hear that, but, like, you're a fucking adult. You're supposed to just be able to pay the fucking bills. So, excuse me. You're supposed to be able to just be alone by yourself without falling apart. It sounds mean, but the reality here is, like, you can point your finger at other people all day long, but if things just keep happening to you, at some point in time, we have to really, melt this down. What's the common denominator? It's you. Yeah. There's just like this obsession with a person and an ending. The Eight of Swords, the World, the Fool, Aquarius energy, the Devil, Capricorn energy. It's codependent. It's like a toxic obsession, though. Like, I think that you can't... I think that this is so obsessive for you. And I'm not picking on anybody. We've all been here. Most of us, this is how we got into tarot, you know? Where you're just so toxically obsessed with someone where you actually cannot think about anything else. Like, you are just waiting for this person to return to your life. Honey, I'm here to tell you, like, the right person you would not have to wait on. You know, they wouldn't just let you go or potentially, like, get with someone else, you know? Like, you have to really, like, stop. You know, it takes a lot to actually be this kind of delusional. Like, you have to actually actively choose to not see the bad parts of things. Especially when it comes to love. I think, you know, you guys get a little weird in that shit, you know? Like, you get one person and you just get hooked and obsessed. And it's like a forever thing. Tell me about, look at the bigger picture. The King of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. I'm telling you, if you look at the bigger picture, like, you are just idealizing somebody. Like, you have fallen in love with their potential and what they make it look like. You need to let that shit go so that you can prioritize yourself and your own happiness. Like, I feel like when you were actually dealing with this person, you were not happy. So it almost doesn't make sense to be that miserable without them, but I totally understand that's how this works. Like, to be addicted to a person. But here it's saying, like, if, like, there's so much abundance and success out here for you, if you just get out of this frumpy energy of, oh, my life is fucking shit, everything fell apart because of this person. And I feel like that's literally where you are in the beginning of March, and we have to get out of that energy. We have the Hermit, Virgo energy, the Two of Swords, and the Hanged Man, or Pisces energy. Yeah, I mean, there is no better way to say you have to look within. There's some things that you're not seeing about yourself here, where you're creating your own blockages. Like, you have other things to pay attention to here. Like, some of you have been waiting around on a person for a long time and they've never actually gotten their shit together. And it's time to just go do you this month, to stop worrying about this person. And I know that sounds hard, but actually, if you don't want to get distracted, but you want to find other priorities, healthy priorities, and things will get better. But if you just sit around and stew, it's not going to work out well. But with the Fool and the Four of Wands, you have to start to really think about life after love. Because I think a lot of you, like, are just destroyed by a relationship right now. Or the lack thereof a relationship with a person. Like, there's just this mental blockage where you just cannot do or think about anything else again in the world. It's a month where you have to make some serious changes with the way that you're thinking. I think there's a lot of negativity. And not a lot of accountability, and that needs to change. So I want to read this card again before we clarify it. Spring of Beauty. My world is a spring of beauty. I nourish my spirit with music, art, and creativity that inspires me. I live a life of inspiration. So yeah, some of you, they're saying get a hobby, bro. And not even in a mean way, but like in a really good, like this is a positive distraction. It's going to heal. Yeah. The Two of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles. I just think that everything's been so off balance that you've kind of been neglecting your self-care. You know, it's like you've been in this, like, again, negative energy and not really having, like, motivation, I think. You know, it's, you have to get back in touch with the more grounded, like, calm you. Like, you're just, like, kind of locked into this Queen of Swords energy here. Always thinking, just obsessing. Trying to figure out why, trying to figure out the truth about something, you know? And instead you need to be embracing this, like, you know, self-care regimen, some type of art, music, whatever it is that you do that soothes your soul and brings you back down to earth. Because again, I feel like this is going to be you know, the beginning of the month just comes off really rough. Yeah, it's this breakup. The Three of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Star. It's saying, like, instead of using this energy to mope around and be angry, let it use the energy to inspire you to do something. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm fucking angry and I start doing something productive, moving around furniture, randomly painting the house, you know, just doing something to get rid of that anger, that aggression, that negativity, I think that it's going to inspire you to do something really dramatic in life. You know, it's like instead of using this energy to, I think, break yourself further, use it to do something really productive. And the advice we have, the Fool and Judgment. Yeah. You're going to have to, you're not going to have to, you're going to. You're going to get like some creative spark, some motivation to do something different, to get your mind away from this person, or at least that's the advice. If you guys are watching a bunch of tarot instead of, you know, obsessively watching tarot, maybe learn some tarot. Get your mind off of, like, this person and the love readings, you know, just shutting down your social media, not watching whatever they're posting, you know, whatever it takes to kind of get your mind off of that so you can redirect that energy to something else. All right. Let's clarify the Three of Cups here. And then we can close this out. Six of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles. I really feel like it's being very kind of direct and rude with you this month, but it's saying, like, if you want success, Instead of sitting around and worrying about it, go get it. You know, the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, Temperance, Sagittarius energy, the Five of Swords, the High Priestess, Cancer, Pisces. Why the Five of Swords? Six of Swords, okay. The Four of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Cups. I mean, it just keeps saying the same thing, like, there's some type of abundance or success that you should be trying to obtain during this time, you know? It's like, instead of me sitting around being obsessed with a person, I sat around obsessed with tarot, and look today. Sure, it's a year later, you know, but maybe it's something like that. It's just saying, like, you should shift your focus to something positive and that you're actually in control of, because you're not in control of if a person hits you up, comes around, contacts you in any kind of way. You're never going to be able to be in control if somebody loves you or not. But what you are in control of is, you know, how you're living, how much money you're making, and what you're doing to feel good about yourself. Here, I feel like you want to, you know, like, as we're standing here at the end of February, currently you're kind of blaming other people for things that are 50% your fault. You're kind of choosing to stay toxically obsessed with someone. And when I say choosing, like, obviously we don't choose to be addicted to a person, but how much content are we consuming surrounding that addiction that's fueling it in its own way? You know, can we limit that and do something more productive this month? Because I think if you don't, you know, you're just going to remain stagnant, and that's kind of a huge issue. So this was a huge warning all the way around that it's time to wake up and, like I said in the beginning, get in the driver's seat. You're in control here. All right, I'll see you soon.